Hello and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to start with the Jaina's theory of substance or the theory of Dravya. So earlier we have read about the metaphysical and epistemological position of the Jain philosophy. We have read about Anekantavad and Syadvad, and within that we have read about the Saptavagini and the criticisms related to it. So we are now progressing towards knowing what, according to Jain, is a substance. What, according to them, is the thing which constitutes what we are made of, what this world is made of. So Jainas accept the common philosophical view of substance, which makes the distinction between characters, dharma, and which possesses these characters, dharmi. The latter is generally called dravya. Out of the innumerable number of characteristics found in a substance, some are essential and others are accidental. The essential characteristics are called gunas, without which a substance ceases to be what it is, and the inessential thing is called or the accidental thing is called the paryay. So Jains have given us a statement that guna paryayavad dravyam. What they mean by is that gunas correspond to the essential nature of the substance and paryay corresponds to the accidental ones. Both of them combined are called the Dravya. So the Dravya is a combination of both of these different elements, both of these essential characteristics, like the guna, which are the essential characteristics, and the paryay, which is the accidental characteristics. So this was given in order to resolve the debate between that of permanence and that of change. So permanence was propagated, or it was more given emphasis by the Vedantins, and change was given prominence by the Buddha. So Jainas actually tried to find a middle ground between both of these different ideological positions. Jainas considered that reality or dravya consists of both permanent, some of the attributes like the sexual attributes, which are the guna, and changeable characteristics, which are the aparyaya or the accidental characteristics. So, guna paryayava dravyam. I would like to make a point that these notes have been taken from Avinash Kumar sir, who was a topper in CSE 2022, and these are his notes which we are reading right now. So, Jainas also gave the example of what he would like to call as the different characteristics of substance. So, he said that consciousness is an essential character of soul. So, this will be a guna. Accidental characteristics of a substance are called paryai or modes. They come and go in succession. So, the accidental characteristics, they have a changeable factor with them. So, they come and go in succession. They are not permanent in a sense. For example, the desire, volition, pleasure, pain are different paryas processed by soul. Thus, Jainas define substance as guna paryayavad dravyam. So, it is a combination of both the essential and accidental characteristics. Guna and paryay is what is dravyam. So, what is ultimately real? That which is permanent or that which is momentary? This question has been a bone of contention between many different philosophies, be it the Western one or the Indian. This is a contentious discussion in ancient India as well as the Greek philosophies. Jainas attempt to answer these questions in the light of their notion of substance as well as their metaphysical doctrine of anekantavad. So, in order to answer the question of what is permanent and what is momentary, Jainas bring into light their concept of anekantavad, which attributes reality to have many or infinite attributes or infinite realities. There are many realities in the same, and there are many characteristics of a same reality. From a pluralistic perspective, they accept the independent reality of all entities in the world. So, from this pluralistic point of view, they accept that there are independent realities of all the entities in this world because we as humans have been limited by our senses and we are limited by our incapabilities. And in order to address this, we have to consider that whatever we see or whatever we have knowledge of is fairly limited, and only an omniscient being could be the one who has the whole view of the whole situation, and he is the only one who possesses the absolute or ultimate uh, truth about the reality, and what we know is just from our frame of reference or just from our point of view. So they accepted their pluralistic perspective. They say that every entity is permanent when analyzed from perspective of guna and changing from perspective of paryas. So these are two different perspectives. The perspectives of guna, which attributes to the essential features or the permanent features, and the perspective of uh, momentariness or the perspective of paryay, which attributes to the accidental features which keep on changing, which has a attribute of change within them, which are not very much permanent. Thus, China's attempt to say that both permanence and momentariness constitute the nature of reality. So this is where Jainas try to resolve the different conflicts between the people who were trying to find answers about what is real and what is not, what is permanent and what is momentary. So Jainas uh, attempted to solve this question by their pluralistic perspective of their metaphysical doctrine of anekantavad, and also their nature of substance, in which they try to reconciliate their theory and say that both permanence and momentariness constitute the nature of reality. So our reality is a mixture of both changing as well as permanent things. These pluralistic and relativistic underpinnings in the Jaina answer to the permanence versus momentariness debate is nothing but an application of Syadvad. So, as we've seen earlier in Syadva, that we basically consider the relativistic view of different realities. We consider the frame of references, and we prefix our statements with the word Syad in order to address our incapabilities and in order to uh, augment the validity of our judgments from our point of view so that it could be a part of the universal whole. So so the explanation about the permanence and momentariness of the reality combining as a whole is an application of the Jainas theory of Syadvad. And the notion of substance, Jainas adopt a realistic position by accepting the difference between qualities and the entities which possess these qualities. So the qualities were the dharma, and the entities which possess these qualities were the dharmis. This is why it is said that Jaina concept of substance is is realist and relativistic pluralism. So since they accepted that there are difference between qualities and there's difference between the ones who possess it, there's difference between dharma and dharmi. They were the ones who actually adopted a very realistic position, and it could also be said that they had a very relativistic pluralistic approach, because they obviously promulgated the theory of anekanvad, which attributed to the manyness of reality. So the Jaina concept of substance is relatist, realist and relativistic pluralism. Jaina criticized Vedantis for proclaiming permanence alone is real. Although also they refute Buddhists for saying change is real and permanence is an illusion. So what Vedantas said was that they consider only permanence is something to be real. So permanence alone is the only real thing. Whereas the Buddhists said that change is the what is real and permanence is an illusion. So whatever we term as permanence is just an illusion, is just a construct of our minds. And change is something which is uh, truly real. So Vedantists were of the view that permanence is real, and the Buddhists were of the view that change is real and permanence is an illusion. So Jainas actually tried to find a middle ground between both of these and basically refuted both of these positions because these were two extreme ends. According to Jaina, both of them commit the fallacy of exclusive predication by overemphasizing upon one of the aspects of reality. So Jainas were of the view that both the Vedantists as well as the Buddhists were only focusing upon one aspect of the reality, and they were not able to view the whole reality, and just terming something as permanent or just claiming as something as changeable is not it's not the whole truth, and what they are committing is the fallacy of exclusive predication. Just they are just exclusively committing to a single reality or a single aspect of reality and not the reality as a whole. It is sometimes said that Jainas adopt a philosophical mean between early Buddhism and Vedanta. So the Jaina philosophy actually adopted a philosophical middle ground or a philosophical meal between the early Buddhist philosophy of that change is real and the Vedantist philosophy of permanence alone is real. So, in conclusion, Jaina philosophy basically attempted to say that both permanent and momentariness constitute the nature of reality. So, our reality is made up of both change and permanence. So, the permanence are basically the essential features. For example, the consciousness is said to be essential feature, uh, whereas change is something which is because of the momentariness of the reality, and these are can be attributed to our desires, the pleasure, the pain, etc., which are the paryayas. So, moving on, the classification of substance. So, Jainas have given a wide uh, categorization of substance. Uh, the Dravya can be broadly classified into two main categories, which is the Astikaya and the Anastikaya. Astikaya are the ones which possess some extension, like exists like a body possessing some extension, and Astikaya are the ones which are non-extensive, which don't have any extensiveness. Within the Astikaya, there are two broad categories, which are the Jiva and the Ajiva. Jivas are the conscious beings, and Ajivas are the inanimate beings. We could refer to a diagram over here. So the Jivas are the conscious, and the Ajivas are the inanimate things. So there is a particular range of consciousness which flows from the Karma Pudgal. So the consciousness could be attributed as inversely proportional to the Karma Pudgal. So the Jeev, within the Jeev, the Mukta are the emancipated ones or the liberated ones who have the high levels of consciousness and who have been liberated from the bondages of karma. Within the Jiva, we have Badha. Badha are the ones who are still bound by these karma or the karma pudgals. Uh, it could be said that they are fettered. Within the Baddha, they are immobile and the mobile. The immobile are called the Sthavaras, example the plants, and the mobiles are the Tras, which can be categorized as the two sense, three sense, four sense, and the five sense. The two sense to ones are the worms, these three sensed are animals, the four sensed are bees, and five sensed are humans. Because as humans, we use all the five senses and our perception or our knowledge is based upon these five senses. So within the ajiva or the inanimate objects, there are four broad classifications. First is the dharma, which attributes to motion. Then adharma is rest. Aksa, which is space. Akasha, which is space, and Pudgal, which is matter. So Pudgal is the one which has like the least level of consciousness, and Pudgal can be further classified into Anu and Sanghita. Within the Astikaya, we have the division of Kal, which is the time. Kal can be further divided into Paramarthik and Vyavaharik. So, this is the classification of substance given by the Jaina philosophy. So, moving on, what is Jeev? Jeev were a classification of the Astikaya of within the substance. So Jeev were the ones who like Astikaya were the ones who had some extension, and Jeev was the conscious of it, like a conscious being. Jaina defines Jeev as an extended conscious substance. So Jeev was within Astikaya, and within the Astikaya, the ones who possess the conscious substance was called Jeev. The idea of Jeev is essentially same as Atma of Nyaya Vaisheshika and Purush of Sankhya system. So the concept of Jeev could be similar or could be attributed as similar to that of the Atma of Nyaya Vaisheshika and Purush of Sankhya system. Consciousness is the real essence of Jeev. So what makes the Jeev essential or what makes the Jeev different is the conscious element of it. So consciousness is the real essence of Jeev, and every soul from highest to the lowest possess it. So this is a very uh, prominent statement given by the Jainas that every soul from highest to the lowest possesses some level of consciousness, but the degree of consciousness may vary according to the obstacles of karma. So even though every soul consists of consciousness, but the level of consciousness may vary because of the accumulation of the karma molecules, or the accumulation of the karma particles, and because of it and because of the obstacles of the karma, there is a varying degree of consciousness within different souls. So purest consciousness is found in emancipated souls, or the ones which we read as mukta. The emancipated or the mukta souls were the ones who had the purest consciousness, where there are no karma obstacles. Consciousness is present in the dormant forms in the lowest soul inhabiting material atoms. So material atoms also consist of a soul, but the degree of consciousness is very low, like it's the least of consciousness, and they are the consciousness could be referred to as in a dormant form. The soul, in its intrinsic nature, possesses infinite knowledge, in, infinite bliss, infinite power, infinite faith. So, the soul, in its natural nature, the soul as a whole, possesses infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite power, and infinite faith. In bonded souls, they are obscured by karma. So the baddha or the fettered ones are the souls which are actually bound by the obstacles of karma, and these karmas are actually obscuring the infinite knowledge, infinite bliss, infinite power and faith which the pure soul consists of. And Jiva is the knower, doer, and enjoyer. So it is the Jiva, the conscious soul, who is the knower, who is the doer, and who is the enjoyer. It's an astikaya drug, like it is extended, but not extended in space like matter. So we have read earlier that Jiva comes under the categorization of the astikaya, which were the objects which possess extension. So here it is said that although Jiva is an astikaya dravya, but it is not extended in space like matter. Though it is formless, it is coextensive with the body, which illuminates it. So the jiva is not extended in space like matter. It is a formless one, and it is coextensive with the body, which illuminates it. Just like a light illuminates the room and becomes coextensive with the room, similarly, soul with body. So Jiva is the one which gets its extension with the body. It is the one which illuminates the body, and it is coextensive with the body. It is not like something which is extended in space. It is extended by the means of body. Just like whenever we enter a room and we light it up, the room is lit with the like for example the candle. Just like this light illuminates the room and it becomes coextensive with the room, so the room is now all lighted up. Similarly, a body could be said to be illuminated by the jiva, or by the non-extensive, or by the extensive formless soul. The soul with its passions or karma forces is regarded as the organizer of the body, the efficient cause of it, whereas matter is said to be its material cause. So here it could be said that the soul is the efficient cause of the body, whereas the matter is just the material cause of it. The next is the concept of Pudgal. Matter in Jaina philosophy is called Pudgal. Pudgals are extended substances devoid of consciousness. So these are the ones which are devoid of consciousness, which can combine to form large wholes and break up into smaller parts. So these can combine as a whole, and they can also be segregated. The smallest indivisible part is called Anu. So the indivisible one is Anu, and two or more such Anus combine to form Sanghat or Skandha. So the indivisible part is the anu, and two or more anus combine to form the skandha or sanghata, which is a compound. Pudgal has like it is devoid of consciousness. It has no consciousness. Our bodies and objects of nature are such compounds of material atoms. So, Pudgal actually represents our bodies and these objects of nature. Mind, speech, and breath are products of matter. So, here we could see that Jainas classify mind, speech, and breath as products of this matter, products of Pudgal. Touch, taste, smell, and color are the four qualities of material substance Pudgal. So, the four qualities of material substance could be attributed to touch, taste, smell, and color. Touch can be attributed to the air element, taste to water, smell to earth element, and color to fire. Sound, light, darkness, shadow, and shape are produced by accidental modification of atom. Sound is not an original quality, so they have also reiterated with that of Charvak. Charvak also said that sound is not the fundamental quality of a substance or a fundamental quality of an object. Similarly, Jairas also say that sound is not an original quality. However, Jainas accept Akash uh, as a quality. So it could be seen here that sound, light, darkness, shadow, and shape are produced by accidental modification of these atoms. So because of the accidental modification of atom or the anu, we get the sound, light, darkness, shadow, and shape. So with this, we have come to an end to this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we discuss about dharma, adharma, liberation of the bonded soul, and other features related to the Jaina philosophy. I hope you would have liked this video. Till then, see ya. Bye.